Hello, kindergarten parents. You came back. Nice to see you again. Oh, when I checked that last week's recording, it was 19 minutes. I think we're trying to keep it shorter than that, but I think all those points are important. And of course, videos you can just stop, pause, and come back to whenever you want to. So maybe you had enough time to enjoy beverage and some snacks while you were listening to that. I realized I didn't explain. I thought this was quite the cool setup. I'm currently right now back east in New Jersey with my family, helping take care of my aging mom. And this is, I'm in my sister's house. And this just seemed like she just redid this room because I could be with my mom while my sister was doing stuff. And this setup, when I walked upstairs just before, looked at this and thought, I'm just going to use this because it's just such a choice setup. Okay, so thanks for patience. Thank you and welcome to this week. Last week I gave you the overview of the kindergarten year. Today what I want you to do is to narrow down a little bit about the importance of the September to December time frame. I did reference it a number of times last week, but I didn't say all the pieces that go into that process. Just think all of them. There is no all because there's just so many, but I have new ones to add into this today. Oh, just remember, this is Kevin G. Gallagher, talking quicker than he ever does with students. Okay, so I'm just going to check my notes over here. And so I'm coming back to that September to December model. An element of kindergarten teaching that I think is really compelling is what we do in the first term of the year. The kindergarten year regarding assessment of report cards is divided into three. A report card comes out, progress report, in November, in March, and in June. But the September to December time is the place where kindergarten teachers really, really focus and treat that part of the year differently than the rest. And again, teaching kindergarten so long, in so many places, recognize that there's something very different about how we all do that. And you've worked with a number of kindergarten teachers over the year, and we all feel the same way. That's when the year's investment and the K-12 investment comes into play. Let me explain a little bit more about what I'm talking about when I say that. We reap in all of the wonderful, fabulous energy that are kindergarten kids. Jumpstart is new. It's only been in the state, I think, about 10 years or so. This is our third year with Bryant, and so we are still configuring how this looks. Prior to that, it was you just started the school year. And so we do like this element of providing information. And I do think an element that that happens with remote learning is providing these opportunities to families. When I look at what could be some silver linings and some nuggets we take out of the remote learning is, I think, more of these opportunities to have some conversations that can be archived, and a family can look at them when it's convenient and be able to hear more conversationally what goes on behind the teacher's face and how we deliver the instruction and the experience every day for the great kindergarten kids we have. And so I think explaining the September to December sequence, for me, has always been one of those critical gems that I relish bringing to parents' attention. And so the part that strikes me and share with my colleagues, several of whom I have worked with and trained in previous years, is everything matters in those first months, September, October, November, December. Everything matters. And for us to be seen as the emotional and cognitive resource to students is we pay attention to those. And I sometimes think an untrained eye coming into kindergarten would walk in, and I think that's where people think, I could never teach kindergarten. Because you walk in and you just think, what is going on? Everything is going on in there. We're responding to content. We're paying attention to kids. Topic switching like a ping pong ball in a pinball machine, all over the place. Which is why it's just hysterical to be in the middle of that as a functioning adult. And so, because everything matters to them, they speak from the heart. Things are kind of black and white. For kids, it's kind of A or B. The gray area comes up over time generally. But if someone's red crayon is broken, or dropped, or rolled off the desk, and they have no idea where to look for it, we're not going to move forward with the lesson least for that child, and perhaps the neighbors nearby who hear it, want to help, are empathetic. So we might as well just stop and take care of it. Later in the year, understanding by design is the type of educational design and planning where you look at your endpoint and then you step backwards of where you are now. So how do I get to that endpoint over the course of time that I'm allotted? And so we think in kindergarten, if I want to have those competent self-managers starting in January and refining all year long until June, we do that in September to December. So if there's a need for a Band-Aid, if a pencil breaks, a crayon is missing, I can't find my red folder, I mean the one that's on the chair, that one, all of those pieces, we need to pay attention to it in that moment, because we won't have that child's heart and brain with us until it's taken care of. The process of what we're doing instructionally just goes on pause. So we can take care of that, we rally everyone's attention again, and then move forward. As the months, September to December, move forward, we are always introducing, reminding, and directing students to how to take care of more by themselves. We'll go back and get the Band-Aid. But then after the 3rd, 5th, 12th, 75th Band-Aid request, we make certain that everyone knows where they are, wherever they are in the class, at the back by the sink, at the share table, so students can go get them. And then we could just expect the Band-Aids to be depleted every day, because suddenly everyone has wounds and injuries that demand Band-Aids. We'll help put them on. Very often we just say, do you want help, or can you do this by yourself? And then whatever it is, we take care of that. Here it is, open the packaging, or put it on that child, and then we come back. Similarly for all of the other instances, because everything matters. Everything comes back to what is in that moment, because that's where their brain goes. And so we pay attention to that. And hopefully in that process, they see these two places, the cognitive thinking adult and that caring, heart-filled adult that's looking out for their best care, just as you have done. That's why we're joining your team. And hopefully they see us as that. And we believe that that investment in that person and that development of competence and confidence, very easily connected together all the time, one leads to the other leads to the other, develops that competent and confident person in that year, but also going ahead to solve their own problems, to talk to someone first before they come and tell the adult. You know, so all the use your words, taking care of, well, tell someone first. We'll say, did you talk to that person yet? No. Well, then we'll guide them in how to do that, and then that's the opportunity for them to, you know, have their voice and have that polite assertiveness of claiming a dispute and then working through it. And if they don't feel satisfied, then come back to us later in the year. But for now, it's take care of every single, you know, infraction or perceived infraction. What we have is what's called a gradual release of responsibility. You've been doing it already for years. Is that giving them a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, so they are taking on more self-management and problem-solving tasks and responsibilities. So from the physical things like the Band-Aid, the pencil, the crayon, the where's the, to the emotional or perceived emotional infractions that need to be addressed. Hearing both sides. Okay, I'm just listening. I'm not making any decisions. Everyone has their chance to, you know, tell their side of the story. Try to investigate and find out where the fallacies and the incomplete stories in that discussion, and then help them find resolution, because everything matters. Next is the step-by-step process. Kindergarten teachers are phenomenal in a line item task analysis of how to do something. We're often entertained of our colleagues, but when someone will just say, you know, here's how we get to the cafeteria. That's great. Well, the reason you can get to the cafeteria is because the kindergarten teachers who gave you those kids 1, 2, 5 years ago helped them see how you task analyze something. Because going to the cafeteria is actually about 17 to 29 steps to leave the classroom and get to the cafeteria. by establishing those routines, repeating the same thing every day, saying them aloud, sometimes providing a visual cue, helps the students, again, feel that sense of, oh, I know how to do this, okay, oh, that's right, I need to go get that step-by-step process. I will say assertively, yes, I think the word is assertively. In my opinion, again, having taught everything, having taught something at every single grade level from K through 16 plus, kindergarten teachers could teach anything. That's not the reverse for everyone else, because of how we look at something and realize, okay, for us to do that, we need these materials, these processes, these explanations. And that is a gift to students' assumption of student profile behaviors. It's back to that, all of this development with this much content, and as that flips into the next part of the year, the January piece, this much content, but this much teacher support because they're doing more by themselves. All those pieces, gradual release of responsibility, establishing routines, everything matters, step-by-step processes, because of what we see in front of us, a group of individuals brought together to become a class and teaching the concept of what a class is by paying attention to each of those individuals, what they contribute to the group process and what they take from the group process and put into their own heads and hearts. Those are the kind of things that we look for very carefully over the course, over the course of that period. I'm going to move this up a little bit, sorry, over here, checking I've got my list there. Yeah. As we look at that period of September to December, it's a fabulous period, and you will see, invariably, year after year, parents will note that the student who they return to school is different than the students that they sent to school in September. And you can then imagine the difference between the student we will give you back, we will return to you, that first grader we're going to put into your arms at the end of June, so different than the fabulous preschooler you gave to us in September. It's a wonderful collaborative effort. We look forward to working with you.